What's up, guys, and thank you for stopping by the channel. Today's project is this Poulan Wild Thing chainsaw, and the problem is that the primer bulb doesn't seem to work. Since the primer bulb doesn't work, it won't start. Let's see if we can find the problem and fix it. This thing has been in storage for a long time, so there's going to be a few issues with the fuel lines and the carburetor. From what I can tell, it was stored with gas in the tank, but more than likely it's all gone by now. There's definitely no gas in it, so let's put some gas into the fuel tank and try priming the fuel system to see what it actually does and doesn't do. And as you can see, the primer bulb is not filling up with gas, so it's not priming the fuel system. So we figured out that it isn't priming. Now let's take the top cover off of the chainsaw and put some 2-cycle gas into the carburetor and make sure that it at least runs. Otherwise, we'll be wasting our time. The compression is still quite good on this engine, so we'll have to start it on the ground. Now that we know that it runs, you'll need a 5/16 socket to take off the air filter base so we can take a look at the fuel lines and the carburetor. Well, we can already see a problem. There's a broken fuel line. This line with a splice is the line that goes into the fuel tank with the fuel filter. So if this line is broken, the rest of them have to be pretty close as well. We're going to need all the room we can to do this, so we'll need to remove the carburetor to put the new fuel lines in. What you'll need to do is disconnect the fuel line on the left side of the carburetor, lift the choke lever out of the way, and slide the carburetor off of the studs, and then disconnect the throttle linkage. And this is the fuel line that goes to the carburetor to the primer bulb, and you can see that it's already hardening, and basically it fell right off of the primer bulb port. Once the carburetor is out of the way, push the remaining fuel lines into the tank, turn the chainsaw on its side, and remove everything that comes out of the fuel tank. And since it's the easiest, we're going to make the return line first. Cut the fuel line at a very steep angle. The steeper, the better. And then put it into the right side hole as far as you can go. Then use some bent long nose pliers and pull the line into the tank. You can pull as much as you want, but it has to be at least ½ an inch into the tank. Now take the other end and cut it to the length that you wanted, and then move it towards the primer bulb area. To make the filming easier and so you can see exactly what I'm doing, I'm going to remove the recoil assembly so you can see the back side of the primer bulb. I don't like this style of primer bulb because you have to actually screw it into the chainsaw. Most other ones are a clip style, so it's a lot easier to service. And once the primer bulb is off, you can see that there are 2 ports. One is longer than the other. The longer port connects to the fuel line we just made. It returns the gas back into the tank. Once you've connected the return fuel line, it's time to make the fuel line for the fuel filter. The procedure is the same as before, but we need to pull the line completely out of the tank to install the fuel filter. If you don't have the right pliers for this, you can buy them online for a few dollars. And if you don't want to do that, find somebody that has some and borrow them. You're going to need a lot of patience while you're doing this. If your fuel line is the correct size, you'll only be able to pull the fuel line into the tank about 1/4 or 1/2 inch at a time. Avoid the temptation of buying a smaller diameter line to make it easier to install the fuel line. If you undersize the fuel line, you're going to run the risk of having a fuel leak around the fuel lines. Pull the fuel line completely out of the tank, cut the line straight, and then insert the fuel filter and then place it back into the fuel tank. Now the fuel lines are almost done except for one last line, the line that goes from the primer bulb to the carburetor. And since the carburetor is off, let's go through it and check it for debris or any damage to the diaphragms. This is the pump side of the carburetor, and after you take the top off, you can see the diaphragm inside. What we're looking for are the two small flaps, and if they're flat against the carburetor, they're in really good shape. This one is in great shape, so let's reassemble this side of the carburetor. Now we're going to check the other side of the carburetor, which is the metering diaphragm side. This is our usual suspect. I usually have more problems with this than I do with the other side. And this metering diaphragm is in pretty decent shape. You can see it's still pretty flexible, hardly any hardening whatsoever. However, it is beginning to show some signs of warpage. This can lead to uneven movement of the metering diaphragm, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it with a new one. These metering diaphragms are very affordable and can be had for only a few dollars online. If you don't want to buy it online, take the whole carburetor and take it into your local small engine shop. Show them the carburetor and they should have the diaphragm for you. They probably insist that you either buy the whole kit or possibly even a new carburetor. Go ahead and do whatever you're comfortable with. Put the carburetor back together and then reinstall it back into the saw. So the last fuel line we need to make will go to the left side port on the carburetor to the shorter port on the back of the primer bulb. I may have forgot to mention that the fuel filter line that came out of the left side of the fuel tank is supposed to reach around to the right side port on the carburetor. We're almost done. The last things we need to do is reconnect the throttle linkage to the carburetor, then slide the carburetor back onto the engine studs. Replace the choke lever back in its position, reinstall the primer bulb to the side of the case, and then reinstall the recoil assembly. If you think the primer bulb is getting weak, or maybe you see wrinkles around the bulb when you press it, now is a good time to replace it. And then finally, replace the air filter assembly to the carburetor, followed by the air filter itself, and then the top cover to the chainsaw. If you're not sure that you ran the fuel lines correctly, a test that you can always do is to actually put gas into the fuel tank and then try priming the fuel system and seeing if the fuel works through the line and the primer bulb like it's supposed to before replacing the top cover and the recoil assembly. And the first real test to see if everything was correct is to see if the primer bulb actually fills up with gas and returns it back into the tank. And luckily for us, the primer bulb did fill up with gas, so we know that the fuel system is properly primed. Let's go ahead and try to start it. The engine did need a little bit more fuel to stay running at idle. So what I did was I went to the L screw and turned it counterclockwise 1/4 turn. After I got the engine to idle for a little bit and off choke, every time I squeezed the throttle, the engine would not rev up. What I did then was I went to the H screw and turned it counterclockwise 1/4 turn to give it more fuel. It's always good practice to drain your gas and then run your saw out of gas every time you use it, because you never know how long it might be in storage. Thanks for watching this video, and if you have any comments or questions about your small engines, please leave them in the comments below. And please consider subscribing, as it really supports this channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.